Welcome everybody once again to a Safe Place podcast, and today we're going to do the weekly news, aren't we, Craig? It's one that the fans love out there, isn't it?
It ends up just being the weekly whinge, doesn't it?
The weekly whinge, yeah, from two middle-aged, afraid old men.
Can you still call us middle-aged, yeah? Because we live till about 100 now. We're still young.
Fingers crossed. Go on then, what news you got for us?
So this one's going to be worth 2 minutes because it's the more nations restrict the jabs, even though our politicians say it's absolutely fine.
We've gone straight in there with the vaccine. Fuck me, we've got something to live up to now, haven't we?
And the second story to that one is even a blood clot victim's sister urges people to get the jab. I don't get that one.
I'm glad she said it. That's remarkable. Thank God somebody says from the sister that's been stricken with a blood clot after a vaccination, still get the jab. Who knows if you're supposed to get the jab? I'll be honest, I've not had my jab yet. I was supposed to go for it the other day and I never went for it because I don't know whether the information either side of the argument is valid.
Okay, this is really good now. Let's just in 60 seconds tell somebody, because I'm sure somebody out there is like this. Should I have it? Why? What should we tell them to give them the best advice on to make that decision?
I don't fucking know. I really don't know that one.
I think, right, you've got to just ask yourself this. Which one do you fear more? It's going to be a fear-based decision. You haven't got the consciousness to know what's right or wrong.
Yeah.
You haven't got the science. So which do you fear more? The vaccination triggering a blood clot, possibly, small amount, but the same chance of COVID.
All being genetically modified by Bill Gates and all the stuff that goes with the anti-vax agenda.
It's which one? They're both conspiracy theories in a way, aren't they? They're both completely, we don't know. So
with the age of the argument to that is, which is bang on right 100%, which one are you more afraid of? Well, that's the emotion that's going to govern which process, which path you choose to go down, whether that being having the vaccine or not. But what's interesting is with all the fake news and all the media and how the media's manipulated us, and how government's also manipulated us through the ages, we've reached a point now where we don't trust anything anymore. There's nowhere to turn to find trust, is there?
No, and this is where basically the mental health comes up and the anxiety and the indecision is the problem. It's like, right, just make your mind up. Yes, it's going to be fear-based. Yes, it's going to possibly be the wrong decision, but just make it, because the other choice is arguing with random people.
Yeah.
I work in a place now where I've told people I haven't had the vaccination. They don't want to be anywhere near me. And they're saying, well, you're not going to be able to get into a pub because you'll need a passport.
Whoopee fucking do.
Let's face it, them pubs are not going to turn away a coach full of rugby players if they haven't got the passports. They're going to say, come in and drink as much as you want because we need the cash. We've been shut for a year.
What it is seen culturally outside the environment of therapy is that a pub is a place that you go to fix your problems. It's just that statistically, it don't fucking work, does it? I don't think a pub's anyone's fixed anyone's problems. It only seems to make the problem much worse, doesn't it?
Yeah, have you seen Gladys on a Saturday night going into her Ford Fiesta after 10 glasses of wine? She's a toxic bitch.
You've got to have a vaccine so you can go to the pub. That's the best fucking argument you've got. Well, I ain't listening to you, Betty, all right? So the other one is staying on the vaccine for a moment, because it is a big topic at the minute that bores the pants off me, but I'm still slightly interested in it if I'm too embarrassed to admit. But what's fascinating to me is we don't trust anyone. There's no one to trust. And then you have annoying, I have to say it because it is annoying, but I'm going to have to just say it as it is, annoying pro-vaxxers that are saying that anyone that doesn't get the vaccine are no better than a murdering criminal. It's like, where's your fucking logic in that? If 3/4 of this country has the vaccine and a quarter don't, and a quarter get sick and die, they can't make you die as a result of their choice not to have the vaccine.
Yes, and you're classing them as selfish people, right? But listen, you strolled in and got an injection of liquid that you know nothing about, and even if somebody with a PhD told you what was in it, you still wouldn't know what was in it. You would
And
still,
it's been told to be given you and it's safe by a health secretary that lies through his teeth. You know what? The amount of lies that man's told, I can't believe he has any way of having a relationship. Because imagine him sitting down with his missus watching Netflix and she asks him a personal question like, was you speaking to anybody today? Was you out texting somebody? I heard somebody told me that you was out with this lady having a dinner, and he said to her, no, sweetheart, I wasn't. I was in a meeting. Is she going to fucking listen to that? Would you listen to that from a known fucking liar? And it's not just, this isn't just bullshit I'm coming out with. It's televised lying. It doesn't get more fact-based. The evidence is there.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? And these are people that we listen to and go and do stuff for. It's like, we've got to be careful, because I don't want to. If you want to go out there and get the vaccination, that's your choice.
Good for you.
And if you don't, that's all right. I don't like the people in between who's got this opinion that one way is right and the other way is wrong.
Yeah.
They're both wrong, really.
And they're both right. And they're both neither or there or anywhere, if that's a word.
I don't think it's getting to the point now where I'm thinking, I know what a human being is, right? And we're very corrupt and we're very selfish. No matter if you say that you're the nicest person in the world.
The ego can't accept that though, Craig, because you're now projecting. It's like, no, you are a corrupt, self-serving, narcissistic individual that paints itself to be something very different. And because you've painted yourself unconsciously to be someone very different, the ugliness that you don't see in you, that you see in others, you condemn for. It's frightening how much this ego of ours. I guarantee now you have to trust me as a qualified therapist that even when you think you're doing something selflessly, you ain't. It's all about trying to get something back in return. And you could say it's positive in terms of helping others in a certain way and it makes you feel good. But you're doing it because you want some return. What would you do if you gave loads of money to charity and the charity place that you gave that money to turned round and took credit for that money and disassociated you from the record book so you didn't even exist? Are you just going to go, well, I don't really care. It just helped people. Well, guess what? 2% of you might do that. Why might you do that? Because it sounds good when you're telling a friend, what they did was awful, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let that change me whatsoever. I am just glad that some of that money went to that sick child better. And Betty's like that. Oh, Brenda, you've got such a heart of gold. And now Brenda's been touched. Her ego has been groomed and pulsated until it reached an egoic place of orgasm. Where am I going with this? Have I not had sex for a while the way I'm going on?
You've actually just got the most views you've ever got with the old SMR followers. Just stop judging other people as if your own shit doesn't stink.
Yeah, we're telling you to stop judging people. We're judging that you judge people, so stop fucking judging people, all right? It's crazy, isn't it? You can't escape the falsality of the ego.
Name anybody who does a selfless act, and you can't. They'll be getting some sort of feeling from it that makes them feel great that they do it.
Yeah.
They might not take
people will say to that, Craig, what's wrong with that? They're helping people.
It's absolutely fine. I mean, you can project.
I'll tell you what's fucking wrong with it. I wanted to help them to take the credit. How dare they be in a position to help people when I can't? How dare they have time on their hands to help somebody? How dare they have the money and financial resources to help somebody?
Yeah.
I want that fucking award.
And this is the argument about the passports, right? Going back to the media news story. If it's okay to get a passport, you're saying you have to get the vaccine. Now, didn't a German chap told certain people that they have to do something, and the other option was a gas chamber. So if you don't get the vaccine, how would you feel if Boris started to say, well, anybody who doesn't get it and can't have the passport, they have to go in a gas chamber? What's going to happen then? Most of you unconscious people that are vaccinated will be going, finally Boris is doing something good for the country.
And that's scary, isn't it? That there will be a proportion of people out there that have that mindset.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And what we need to do is find out who they are. And when we find out who those people are, we need to gas them and kill them. Oh, wait there, fuck me. I went into the darkness myself there. You see how it can just take you over? You think you're in a place of righteousness, and it's actually a masquerade for devilry, darkness.
Think of the last thing that you did for somebody else, and I can guarantee it was for you, baby. It was all for you.
Brilliant way to end it. So what's the next headline?
Belfast rioting, worst seen in Northern Ireland in years, right? Now, I've not seen anything about this, but I am going to
Best not to talk about it.
No,
right?
but
We're about to break down a headline with the opening line. Wow, I've not seen anything about this, but I'm about to tell you everything about it while never knowing anything about it. Wow.
In my first year of doing a psychology degree, I'll just put that out there.
Go on.
Psychology and counselling, by the way.
Great.
First year, they spoke about Belfast and they spoke about the problems there, right? And we was asked
many problems.
We was asked to see why the segregation of two different people, two different believing groups were a problem, right? And this is another thing that just leads into the whole problem of the world, right? People are rioting in Belfast over something that isn't real. Now get your head round this. You're having an argument every day over things that aren't real. That's pretty bad.
What things? What things?
So if I came into your house and you told me that I never took my shoes off and I've walked mud on your brand new white carpet and you're really pissed off, right? The truth is, you don't need to be angry. You can obviously not invite me around again, but you don't have to purge any anger towards me. You can just get a shampoo, vacuum out and clean your carpet. It's as simple as that. These people who are rioting believe two different false stories, that they don't have to have an emotional outburst which harms somebody else.
What are the false stories?
The belief in a different religion is completely bullshit.
Yeah. Okay.
Name me one scientifically proven piece of science. Never mind religion. Let's go into science. Scientists think there are different between them. Think they're more conscious than a religious believer. There's no more conscious there believing in science.
Do you know what's interesting is that there's somebody out there in the world far more intelligent than us that is looking and listening to us with the same distaste for our unconscious awareness as we judge by other people. And he just watches us going, what a fucking pair of idiots. What are they talking about? But from this level, this vantage point of intelligence or lack of, I agree with what you're saying. Ultimately, two different beliefs cause you to cause harm on somebody else. What an awful, scary world that we live in when that takes place.
And let me just say this, if you're struggling to get how something might be real, let's say it's completely real. Let's say that one of these rioters groups are bang on the money. Everything is true. The God is real. The religion's real. The science, it's all based on evidence. It's all true, right? Does it mean that if anybody's different to your perspective, you should kill them? You should take their land. You should suppress them. You should rape them?
No, and that was definitely one of the agendas that any type of different ideological religion would go down. They would take the land. They would kill the people. Whereas now it's like, okay, so let's imagine that you've got two sides, two different opposing sides with some different beliefs. Like 3/4 of the books that they read, they agree on, but there's 15 that they disagree on, and they form their basis from that viewpoint. And that we have this conversation with them, and they're like, yeah. 10 people on one side of the fence, 10 people on the other side of the fence. They sit opposite each other, and they're like, yeah, we don't have to hurt each other. We don't have to hurt each other anymore. I get that. I guarantee there's a Judas on each side of those 10. One of them that's like, no, it's going to have to be done this way. And he will find a way of hurting one of them. And then out comes even more pain. The old animalistic need for revenge kicks in. And then it'll start over again. I don't think we can ever, it seems like we can move beyond our old animal tribal instincts, can we?
Well, this is what I'm trying to say about the media. We're talking about the media, but we're breaking it down to another level that the media isn't telling us. The media should say 2 people are arguing and rioting over 2 different beliefs that aren't based on any evidence that either one of them are correct. Break down the news for us to real, not so it's like, oh, we know that religions are always going to fight.
No, they're breaking it down in a way like there is some sort of okayness in a sense, right there. That's not the word I'm looking for. They break it down in a sense that there is a good and a bad guy, I think. And I imagine if every war was news read like this, and Iraq are upset with America because America have blamed them for the attacks, or Afghanistan for the attacks on the Twin Towers, and they flew planes over there, America have, and they've killed a lot of their people. And of course, you're going to get a revengeful instinct kicked in now by the Afghanistan people, the Iraqi people, to protect the people that they love. And now, as a result of our soldiers being killed in a revenge attack, we're going to feel upset by that and feel the need to project that pain back out. So we can see right here that what's going on is something that we drastically need to evolve beyond quickly. Imagine that type of a news report.
That's what I'm saying. It's highlighted to us in the headline, like, and this is why it stays around forever. It will stay, and we'll never learn from the mistakes of the past.
No.
Do you know who? I thought of this the other day. Guess who created a terrorist? Now, everybody out there will just think terrorists believe in a religion, that religion's wrong, it's what creates the monster. The terrorist was created, I'm guessing, by a white person, possibly with an American accent, and I can tell you why. Because the greed and the power of these people decided to go into their town, their neighbourhood, their area, and do things that these people went against their religion, it went against their rights, their human being rights, and over time this creates a man who's got the projection of pain that's turned into a plane going into a building and killing everybody, and it just keeps going round and round.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that there's one belief, everyone should be a Christian, we'd all get on.
Well, sometimes you've got to fill the world with fear for it to wake up from its mass delusion. And it's like to any if there's any journalists out there, listen to this very clearly. If you are not conscious that the news you're giving is having a massive impact on the world that your children and your children's children are going to grow up in, then try and get conscious of that fact straight away. Try and understand exactly what's going on, because the real news isn't being reported in a way that's going to wake people up from the problems that go on within their own psyche and bodies that generates more war and hatred. Now, if you are conscious of that and you're afraid of losing your job by putting out a different narrative, and you stay in that job and report on news that only fuels more hatred, fear and violence, you are just as responsible for the state of this world, and you are directly responsible for your children suffering in the future. Now that sounds absolutely awful. It sounds astonishingly awful and insensitive of me to say that, but unfortunately it's the truth. If I don't learn about myself and understand how awful I can be and why I can be that awful, how am I ever going to be a better father to my children? How am I ever going to try and help make a world a better place? If I condemn the world to be wrong, no, it's me. It's all inside of me.
That's it. And I think that I found now, I used to put a flag in a certain place and
You dirty bugger.
and call that home. I used to call that home and say, this is where all my eggs are going into the basket.
Oh my God, you're going to make me get sick.
An umbrella. And but the truth is, once you do that, you make the tribe, You only want to put people in your group that agree with what you agree with.
Yeah.
Anybody who's alien to that. And now we've had lots of guests on this show, all different beliefs. And if you put them all in a room together, what you'll see is the similar thing with all of them is they've experienced trauma and pain, and they've projected it into a career, a life, a 90-year passage through life, hoping to come out the other side. That's what connects all humanity.
Yeah.
That's what we are.
Yeah.
Feeling, thinking machines that need this planet more than the planet actually needs us.
Why can't we value and respect belief?
Imagine if everybody believed that Earth was God just for one day.
Fucking you talking about? Right, so imagine that group of people that you said you're about to go down that rabbit hole.
Do you see what would happen? You imagine?
If you could get people to do that, but you could in a way with this is what I'm trying to say. So you have those 10 people in the room, 10 different beliefs. Ultimately, what all of those beliefs are doing for them is making them feel they have a little bit more control over
any situation.
Any situation. So it doesn't matter what the belief is. What's real is the emotional felt experience of the belief. And in those 10 individuals is a shared feeling that somebody with the bulletproof mindset ideology would look at somebody that's suffering with anxiety but thinks they've tried everything and they're doing everything they can. That belief that they've tried everything makes them feel less incompetent. They're saying, I believe I've tried everything. It's making them feel a little bit more in control of what's going on. Whereas somebody from the strong mindset ground would look at somebody like that and say that belief's bullshit, that belief's weak. And it's like, hold on a minute, that's belief that's giving them a little bit of control. Same as your belief. It may be more beneficial to you in your life, but it's ultimately a feeling that gives you a sense of control. So why do we get lost in all the differences in what all those different beliefs look like and unite on the fact that this lady who wants to be described as a male now because she's had a sex change and she believes in certain ideologies that I really am against, I can value her belief even if I don't agree with it. So everyone can sit down and see the value that you're trying to feel safe in a world that feels scary. I value that because that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for, you know what I mean?
100%. And how is Uncle Ken?
Uncle Ken? You know what I mean?
The transgender. How is it? Is he Auntie Pauline yet?
He's all right. He's just had one of his boobs done. It's hard when you're on the dole to get the money together to get the both.
It's a slow process, isn't it?
It is, yeah, but really rewarding, isn't it, Uncle Ken?
What we want to try and say is that everyone's going to have different beliefs. You don't have to fight over it. It's ridiculous. You don't have to get triggered by an emotion and project that pain onto somebody else.
If someone's murdered one of your family members and you go out and murder him in a revenge attack, you've just murdered your children having a father. You've just murdered a father.
And you haven't got...
You've just murdered a part of yourself. And your children are going to grow up suffering and you're going to be sitting there and the only ego defense you're going to have to make you feel a little bit safer about what you've done is, I did it for my kids.
And statistically, there won't be any less murderers because you've replaced the one that you murdered. Just letting you know about the numbers.
What's next on the agenda? Might as well put this as the last one.
Okie doke. Right, what have we got?
Don't worry, I can edit these bits out.
You know what? They're all fucking shite, mate. Shite.
Let's end it like that. Right. That's brilliant. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. What a waste of time, the headlines. Fucking brilliant.